Hi, I'm David Legier of Woodhull Press, and you're tuned in to Publish This Over Lunch. I'm joined today by Joan Sidney. Joan is a writer in residence at the University of Connecticut, Connecticut Center for Judaic Studies and Contemporary Jewish Life. She's the author of The Way the Past Comes Back, Body of Diminishing Motion, Poems and a Memoir, Bereft and Blessed, plus many poems in literary journals and anthologies. Body of Diminishing Motion won an Eric Hoffer Legacy Finalist Award in 2015. Recently, the Connecticut Office of the Arts awarded Joan a fellowship to revise her picture books, poems, and creative nonfiction essays. She's also translating Mariel Genzel's, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, I think, Maison d'Âme, I think that's it. Since fall 1996, Joan facilitates Writing for Your Life, an adult workshop. Her favorite sports are half a mile of nonstop lap swimming, adaptive skiing, black diamonds, and therapeutic horseback riding. So Joan's also a contributor of the upcoming Fast Funny Women, right, edited by Gina Barreca and published by Woodhull Press. I'm wearing the sweatshirt. I'm biased today. But Joan, would you like to start us off just by reading your piece aloud?
Sure. All
right.
It's called I Married
So for anybody listening, I think at one point the connection might have been spotty. So if you missed any part of that reading, please buy the book Fast Funny Women when it comes out, because it's hilarious. That's so fun. Oh, it's great. And you know what I love about flash nonfiction, particularly with humor, is that you capture an entire story, right? You capture the full range of emotion, and you do it within a really tight timeline. Right? You capture the full range, and you're able to just process it. It doesn't take 256 pages to feel that range of emotion, right? I was just talking about that this morning with my students. So how do you write humor? What is your secret to determining what's funny, or what to write about?
Well, I look around the kitchen table. I look around my house, outside when I go around the block in the neighborhood. It's the everyday things. It's the perspective that we bring, and we have to keep changing our perspective. Look at the same thing different ways, and realize, life in general, especially these days with COVID, is so serious. But we have to find ways to look at it and just appreciate where we are, and how did we get there, and where are we going next?
Yeah. I love that. So it's observation and then mindset, right? It's taking a look at everything and saying, yeah, this is a tough year, right? Everybody you hear this all the time, right? 2020, everybody's just so angry for good reason, but there's good things to be found, right? If you change the mindset, there's humor to be found, laughter, love, all the things are still there. And you have to kind of weed through the negativity to find the humor. Yeah, that's great. Now that story, how did how did your husband feel? Did you share that piece with him? No.
No one in my family is going to see it till the book comes out. And then I'm wondering, is all hell gonna break loose? Are my 4 kids and my daughter-in-laws gonna say, "Vey, how could you do that to Dad?" But I have learned my lesson. When one of my sons was in 5th or 6th grade, I got him a job. UConn was running a summer institute for gifted elementary school students. And this, particular son was an absolute computer whiz. And so he got the job, and he didn't understand. He was too young to know that as a teacher, you have to let students learn. He would sit down if somebody would have a question, and he would just hit the keyboard, and that would be, in 2 weeks, he was fired. And I wrote a poem about it, and I called it Logged Off, and I thought it was a very funny poem. I made the mistake of showing it to him, and he said, "Mom, don't you dare ever show it to anybody else." So that taught me the lesson that as a writer, you write whatever you need to write to discover what it is you needed to write, and just, send it out, get it published. And when it's too late, it's a fait accompli, and they can't stop you.
So it sounds like it's better to ask forgiveness than permission, right?
Yes, and even forgiveness is a very hard thing for me to ask. I have learned, that especially as, a feminist, that I've got to do what I think is right, and, damn the rest of the world. It's, especially now, politically too, we're in a hard place. And the only way, I shouldn't say the only way, but, one way, instead of crying your eyes out, is to find, humor, and do what you can to make sure it doesn't happen again in November. We just carry on and do our best.
And the idea of humor being able to heal, right? That's powerful. I read an article years ago that said something like if you were able to laugh, like really do a belly laugh every single day for a couple minutes a day, the statistics showed that your life expectancy was like significantly longer, and you had a happier, a healthier life. And I thought that was fascinating, just the power of laughter and how good it is for us. Not enough people laugh, right? Everybody is always so angry.
Yeah.
So angry all the time.
Yeah. I'm so pleased when I'm driving around town and I see signs that say, "Be kind."
Yeah.
And, taking the time, like at the Mansfield Community Center, people are just wonderful. They're all masked, so sometimes I don't recognize who it is. But because I'm in a wheelchair, they all know me. And, everyone, "Hi, Joan, how are you?" And we, get into the pool every now and then. Like now we have to reserve swim times, and you can only share a lane with person you live with. And yesterday, I didn't realize my husband had gotten into the pool. We had a little collision. Nobody was badly hurt, but we did sort of knock body parts. No. Yeah.
So, something I kind of ask everybody on this show is just, 2020 has been a hard year. Is there anything that you've noticed just kind of in the literary world that makes you feel inspired? Is there anything that you're seeing in the book community that just makes you go, yeah, all right, I like this? Anything that's jumping out at you in 2020?
Well, I will show you this incredible book. It's called Eleanor, and it's by Gray Jacobic, and it was published by one of my publishers, Kevin Carey Press, and it's 50 persona poems where Gray has imagined Eleanor Roosevelt speaking about her family, her relationship with Franklin, her, his affairs, which gave her permission after a while to have affairs of her own. And I find it's amazingly inspirational that, she talks about there is no end to the suffering some will inflict upon the bodies, minds, and spirits of others. And she says, yet I work every day to bring forth an inkling of it. Individual realities are all we know. True common ground is an absurdity, but it didn't stop her from doing so much good, being such a role model for women all around the world. And I guess as writers, we have an obligation to make the world better through our discoveries. And, the main reason I write is to try to figure out what it is I need to know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, that's power. That's great. I love that line. Yeah. So in essence, there is the hope is that there's still great writing being produced, right? And there's still people hoping, and there's still people trying. And I think that's a big takeaway for 2020.
Yes, that it's not the end of the world. We are not coming, hopefully, to the apocalypse. That life, sometime the sooner the better. This virus will disappear the way other viruses have. And if only we had a government that took responsibility, it would be sooner. Anyway, that's, another big reason we need humor in our lives. And
I agree.
Gina Barreca is such an inspiration to all of us. I mean, I really miss her column, in the Hartford Courant, that when they cut back, all of a sudden, there was no weekly column. I have to be on her website, to get her messages and her laughs. She,
Hmm.
her,
Yeah, I think part of this book, right, shows how big an inspiration Gina has been on everyone, particularly the people that are in this book, these contributors and everybody involved. I was actually Gina's student many years ago, so it's like it's all UConn full circle. I actually 35 contributors are from UConn, not counting the publisher is also from UConn. So there's a lot of UConn love going on in this book.
that's right. And we can't wait till it comes out. Is it coming October?
Yeah, actually, good news. I have the comp copies with the printer, so you should be getting a box of books very soon.
Wow,
Yeah, I'll have them to you in a couple weeks.
that's terrific. You are such a fast publisher.
I try, fast and effective, with no skimping on quality, right?
That's right. Well,
Mm.
Gina chose you because she thought of you as the best publisher to do this anthology.
Yeah, and it's been a wonderful process, and I just want to thank you again for for being in this book as a contributor and the hilarious story. I'm hoping to actually use this in the classroom sometime, and I would love that's going to be one of the featured pieces because I love that story. It's so good.
Wow. Where are you teaching?
This semester I'm at Quinnipiac and Southern, and then sometimes I do Fairfield University too.
And Zooming or in person?
Zooming for one class, and then for the other class, I'm on the ground, which is an interesting experience. They got the Zoom carts, right, and everything. I kind
Yes,
of feel like a movie star, like I see myself on the screens, and they got all the equipment set up. So it's an experience, right? Being a teacher this year is different.
right, for sure.
Well, I want to thank you again, Joan, for being on today, and this was awesome. And if anybody has any questions that's watching this or listening to this, please feel free to contact me directly at david@woodhallpress.com, and I'll be able to answer any questions you have. And yeah, Joan, anything else before we wrap up?
Well, I guess just one inspirational quote from Gray's book, a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt asking, when will our consciences grow so tender that we will act to prevent human misery rather than avenge it? And I think that's the challenge, one of the many challenges today, to prevent human misery. And doing humorous fast fiction is, just the start of how we make the world better.
Oh yeah, that's such a good way to end this. To make the world better is ultimately the point of all of this.
Right.
Yeah. So you've given me ideas to think about throughout this entire. There's like little nuggets. I'm going to go back and rewatch this and type out like these quotes for myself to think about later. This was great, and for everybody listening, please check out Fast Funny Women, and thank you again, Joan, for being here today, and have a good one.
Thanks so much, David.